presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are the West.
Last night was just what the doctor ordered. A bounce-back performance from their staff leader, surgically removing his opponents from the batter's box. A dose of energy and pop from the leadoff hitter. And a shutdown bullpen visit to discharge the Mariners. Tonight, the Rangers continue their operation for playoff admission. And welcome to Texas Rangers baseball presented by AT&T. We are at Globe Life Park once again tonight, getting ready for Game 2 of a 4-game series with the Seattle Mariners. Two teams battling it out. Still in that fight for the wild card. The Rangers a game over 500. Mariners 2 games under, and you see where they stand in the wild card race. The Rangers still 2 back of Minnesota, with only the Angels standing between them and the Twins in that final spot in the wild card here in 2017. Great to be with you once again tonight. I'm Dave Raymond with Tom Grieve. It is a big game tonight for the Rangers. They're all big games at this time of year, and a lot of housekeeping today. Many roster moves made by the Rangers before this ball game today. Not the least of which, though, was Willie Calhoun. Brought up, making his big league debut today, and he has the start in left field.
He does. This is going to be exciting to watch him play. He was the centerpiece of the Yu Darvish trade. He's the young kid who hasn't been in minor league baseball very long. He signed in 2015. Last year in Double-A, he hit 27 home runs. This year in Triple-A, he hit 300. He had 31 home runs, knocked in 93 runs. He's here to play every day. And one of the things you have to like about this kid, in the last 2 years, he's had over 500 at-bats in his minor league seasons, and he's averaged only 63 strikeouts. He uses the whole field, he doesn't strike out, and he's got a lot of power.
And that'll add a new dimension to this Rangers offense. Not that they necessarily need a new dimension. They're doing a lot of things really well, including out of that leadoff spot. Delino DeShields yesterday showed us everything a guy can do in that spot.
We've been seeing a lot of Delino DeShields showing us a lot on the field. The Rangers are 29-19 in his last 48 starts. Last night, his 9th bunt base hit started a rally in the 2nd inning when Shin-Soo Choo doubled in the gap in left center field. One of the more exciting bursts of speed and a head-first dive, and Delino scored the Rangers' 4th run. Then a little bit later, he would get the 5th run in for the Rangers with his 5th home run of the season. That made the score 5-3. That was the score at the end of the game. So another big game for Delino.
And obviously, there is nothing he cannot do offensively. He has been terrific the last 24 games, an on-base average over 400, because one of the things he's doing well, drawing walks and, of course, scoring runs. The key to the game of baseball. So Delino's doing a great job there. Offense continues to score runs. It's all about pitching, though, this time of year. Today, 2 Gonzalez is going. Marco Gonzalez goes for the Mariners. It's Miguel Gonzalez for the Rangers, and they're hoping for a bounce-back performance for him. Just his 2nd start as a Ranger. Meanwhile, Marco Gonzalez, another left-hander, 3rd in a row now.
Yeah, the Rangers have done pretty well for quite a while against left-handed pitching. In fact, in the last 2 starts against left-handers, they faced Jordan Montgomery. Robin Chirinos took him deep in that game. He only went 3 1/3. The Rangers knocked him out early. And then last night against Ariel Miranda, Nomar Mazara in the 1st inning with a 2-run double off the wall in right field. In the 2nd inning, Shin-Soo Choo with a double off the wall in left field. Got to him early. He was gone before the 2nd inning was over. So the Rangers have done well recently against lefties, and since August 2nd, they're 2nd in Major League Baseball in batting average, in OPS, and against starting pitchers in that time, they have a 10-3 record. So they're facing a left-hander tonight, and they've been enjoying pretty good success against left-handed pitchers.
Okay, so it sets up really well tonight for the Rangers in part 2, because Nomar Mazara has been driving in runs at an incredible rate in the middle of the order, and his run production will be in our spotlight with Emily Jones when we come back. Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
A picture-perfect night for baseball here at Globe Life Park in Arlington as the Rangers look to take a 2-0 series lead in this this 4-game series, I should say, against the Seattle Mariners. And Nomar Mazara back in the lineup tonight, back in that DH spot as he continues to battle that quad injury, not keeping him from hitting the ball as he has all season and knocking in those runs. Look at the Shiner box spotlight. It's got Nomar squarely in it. Sophomore slump. What is that? Nomar Mazara knows nothing of it. He has 93 RBI, which is 6th in the American League. When you look at his numbers up against some of the other great seasons in Rangers history, other age 22 seasons, there you see him in the company of Ruben Sierra, Juan Gonzalez 2 times, and then there's Nomar with 93 so far this season, of course, and counting. He says his approach has remained the same regardless of the results, and that has been the key to him being so consistent this season, that those slumps haven't lasted too long, and when he's gotten good and gotten hot, he's tried to keep the same approach to maintain that as long as he possibly can. Whatever he's doing in his sophomore season, it's working for Nomar Mazara, guys.
Yeah, he has been outstanding as we are ready to go now in the second game in this 4-game series. Miguel Gonzalez ready to go, and his first pitch right in there for a strike to Gene Segura. Segura at 297, had a tough one yesterday. He's 0 for 4 with a walk and a run scored. And finds himself in an 0-2 hole here. So Segura's batting average now dips below 300. 9 homers, 39 RBIs for Segura. And the on-base average at 348. Hits this one in the air center field, but a lot of room out there, and Delano DeShields can cover it, 1 away. Let's take a look at the Mariners starting lineup tonight. We just saw Segura. Mitch Haniger has been red hot batting second. You can see what he has done over the last 11 games. Cano, Cruz, and Seager in the heart of this thing. Yonder Alonso out of the lineup yesterday, starts at first base tonight. Zanino, Gamble, and Guillermo Heredia. Well, here is Haniger. And swinging a good bat yesterday. He had hits in his first 3 trips to the plate. Went 3 for 4. Gonzalez filling it up.
He's throwing all fastballs, but well-located fastballs. He jammed Segura on that fly ball and pounded that one into Mitch Haniger. We'll take a look at the Ford pitch arsenal that Miguel Gonzalez features. He'll throw his fastball 50% of the time. He has a good slider, a solid curveball. He'll also throw a splitter for his changeup. So he uses a good assortment of pitches, and he utilizes them liberally at any time in the count. And that's a pretty good start to this ball game.
Yeah, looking very good. A fly ball and a strikeout, 2 away here in the top of the first.
After a fastball and a slider, that was the splitter, and that thing, you can see the grip and watch it nosedive right at the end, go straight down. So the changeup speed and then the movement that the splitter has really fooled Mitch Haniger, who's been an extremely hot hitter.
So good beginning to this one for Gonzalez. Mentioned he's looking for a bounce back performance tonight for the Rangers. Made his Rangers debut in Atlanta and struggled. Give up 4 runs on 4 hits in his brief 3 innings of work. And he gets one right in there for a strike to the dangerous Robinson Cano. And you see Cano's numbers there, 5 for 30 against Gonzalez in his career. One and 1 the count. For Cano, Miguel Gonzalez has been one of his tougher adversaries. It's the second lowest average he has against a right-handed pitcher against whom he has at least 20 appearances. So Gonzalez has had good success against him and gets ahead here 1-2. Gonzalez 33 years old. This is his 24th start overall this season. Just the second with the Rangers, acquired from the White Sox in a trade involving Taekwon Forbes. And the very wee moments there on August 31st, the trade deadline. I guess the postseason trade deadline of sorts. Any player you acquire before September is on your 25-man roster can be eligible, rather 40-man roster can be eligible for postseason plays. You see his overall numbers this year with the White Sox and very briefly with the Rangers. Bouncing ball, second base, and Odor right there, and it's a 1-2-3 for Miguel Gonzalez. Just 11 pitches needed in the top of the first. Now here come the Rangers. Miguel Gonzalez, and now the Rangers go to work. We take a look at their Southwest starting lineup. Delano DeShields and Shin-Soo Choo. Great 1-2 punch up top. Andrews, Mazzara, Joey Gallo, and then Robinson Chirinos, the hottest hitter right now maybe in baseball. Willie Calhoun makes his big league debut, batting seventh. Rougned Odor and Ryan Rua.
And a look at our Ford pitch arsenal for Marco Gonzalez. He'll throw his fastball. It averages out about 91 miles an hour 55% of the time. He features three pitches: a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup.
So Gonzalez right in there to Delano DeShields with strike one. Delano with a home run yesterday. It's a career high for him, 5 this year. Which is funny because when we have talked about Delano and going all the way back to spring training, Tom, one of the things we noted is he went back to his previous style, pre-2016, slimmed up, went back to the speed, the quickness, went away from trying to hit the ball with more power as he had last year, and the less he tries, the more power he seems to get.
Yeah, quickness will trump bulk any day. And he made the right decision because the quickness that he's gained by trimming down has not taken one thing away from the ability of him to hit the ball and make the ball jump off the bat.
Goes down looking to start the first, one away.
Take a look at the Mariners defense. Ben Gamble, Mitch Haniger, Guillermo Heredia again form the outfield. Gene Segura, Robinson Cano up the middle. Kyle Seager is at third base. Yonder Alonso starts in place of Danny Valencia, who faces left-handed pitching, and Mike Zunino will be behind the plate.
So here is Chu, 263 for the year. And Chu, though he has not been walking as frequently as you become accustomed over the years, he has been hitting with great consistency. A .319 average over the last 24 games. And he takes a strike from Gonzalez. It's 1-1. Average has gone up about 13 points in that time. 2 for 4 last night with a double. Drove in a couple. And there's Willie Calhoun. Love to get him up in the first inning. If he gets up in the first inning, you know things are going well. 2-2 the count on Chu. And one thing you can say about Chu, and one of the big differences lately, is his ability to handle the left-handers so much better here last couple of weeks.
I think one thing that's allowed that to happen is he's been hitting the ball to the left side of the diamond against left-handed pitchers with success.
And that time hits it to the right side of the bag, although to a fielder who is typically on the left side, so it'll kind of look that way again. A 6-3 put out, but 2 away. And here is Elvis Andrus, our TXU Energy power player to watch. There's always a new way to express what this season has been for Elvis Andrus. So we've taken a slice out of the home numbers lately. Last 18 home games, 18 RBIs, and nearly a .350 average. Just one of the many ways that he has been exceptional lately. And a bouncer with a hole at short. Segura with the long throw in time.
Wow.
And that's a heck of a play.
What a play.
And it ends a 1-2-3 inning for Marco Gonzalez.
Well, this is a spectacular play by a really good shortstop. In the hole, going toward left field. Somehow gets enough on the throw to nip Elvis at first. And the Rangers as we head to the top of the second inning. The Rangers defense is delivered to you by Texas Department of Transportation. Willie Calhoun making his major league debut for the Rangers is in left. Delino and Shin-Soo are in the outfield. Elvis and Rubnett up the middle. At third base is Joey Gallo. Ryan Rua gets the start at first, and Robinson Chirinos is behind the plate. There's another look at Willie. He's thinking about his first at bat, which will be coming up hopefully next inning.
Tell you what, he looks pretty cool. I mean, pretty relaxed out there.
And you know, when you look at the numbers that he's put up in AA and AAA, he doesn't strike out. He has to feel confident that he can perform and not be overmatched in the big leagues based on the way he's played the last 2 years. When you put up those numbers this year in AAA, way over 500 at bats, he hit 300. He didn't strike out very much. He uses the whole field. He hit 30 home runs. He knocked in 90 runs. So he's ready to get a big league opportunity.
Cruz lines one out to right field, and there's the first base runner of the night for either team. Leadoff single for the Mariners DH. That'll bring up Kyle Seager.
Well, Nelly went 0 for 4 in last night's game and struck out 3 times. But it looked like that sinker moved back out over the plate, across the plate, not into the hitting zone. And Nelly did a nice solid line drive out to right field.
Now Seager, left-handed hitter. Seager comes in with the average at 255, 23 homers, 74 RBIs. I don't know why we bother putting him up there. They mean nothing when he comes to the plate. A, against the Rangers, but certainly B, when he plays here, because he is a different guy in this ballpark. A very tough out, a guy who hits for a lot of power. See what he has done here at Globe Life Park. This will be his 60th game here. 10 homers, a .315 average. Well, he's got Cruz over at first base and a favorable count here at 2-0. Gonzalez being a little careful with him. 3 balls and no strikes.
All those pitches right around the strike zone, all borderline pitches.
We'll see if he's taking here. I don't know if he'll be swinging from his heels if he gets something good. He is taking 3-1. Mariners come in 2 games under 500. 71 wins, 73 losses. In the division, Scott Service has his club 15.5 back of Houston, and no chance of catching the Astros, but they are still on the periphery of the wild card. High fly ball out to center field. Not going to carry. And Shields puts it away. All right, with 1 out, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Thanks, guys. Progressive fan of the game time. It is Paisley Eller and her new little 8-week-old baby brother, Rife. And Paisley, I've got 2 questions for you. One, are you a good big sister?
So yes.
Yes. And who did you come to watch tonight? Joey. Guys, apparently the whole game of baseball is just called Joey. All of the Rangers are Joey. She came here to watch Joey Gallo, and that's all that matters.
Oh.
Good for her.
Just simplify. Yonder Alonso with 1 out here in the 2nd inning. You see his numbers, but you also see that it's been a struggle lately for him. Alonso did not play yesterday. Today gets his start against the right-hander, and he takes off the plate. 2-0. Alonso acquired by the Mariners from the Oakland A's. That was in a trade on August 6th after the non-waiver trade deadline, so he had cleared waivers or been claimed by Seattle, and they traded Boog Powell the other way to Oakland. This one sent down the line, foul and well out of play. Calhoun getting a little exercise out there. Alonso, though, had a pretty good first half. He was an all-star for Oakland. In fact, had a couple of hits in the all-star game.
He's putting up some power numbers this year that we haven't seen from him. He's had a relatively long career, but never hit 25 home runs before.
Man at first, 1 out. And this one hit through into right field. Base hit for Alonso. Cruz will stop at second. And now a couple of base runners for the Mariners.
Batting seventh, the catcher, number 3, Mike Zunino.
Look at the sinker tailing away. Looked like the ball was on the outside corner. Didn't bother Alonso though. He ripped it like it was on the inside corner.
So 2 men out there now for Mike Zunino. Zunino, a guy who has made some adjustments this year and come back with a flourish to put up the numbers you just saw there. The 21 home runs. Hits this one on the ground hard into left field. It's a base hit. Calhoun up with a baseball. They're going to wave Cruz. Here comes a throw, and he is safe. Somehow got under the tag on a throw that looked like the ball got to the plate before Cruz, but slid to the inside and makes it 1-0 Seattle.
Yeah, pretty solid throw by Willie Calhoun. It was slightly off the line to where Robinson had to catch it and then come back toward the plate. It's a one-hop throw, but as Robinson catches it and comes back, Cruz was able to barely get his foot in ahead of the throw. If the throw was on the other side of the base or right on the base, probably would have had him. Just barely got in ahead of the tag. Good solid throw though from Willie Calhoun in his first major league play from the outfield.
Yeah, I was thinking he might just pick up an assist in the very early stages of his first big league game, but nicely done. Unfortunately, good slide by Cruz. Gets the Mariners on the board first. Alonso also gets over to third base on the single by Mike Zunino. So 1-0 Seattle. And here's Ben Gamel, another left-handed hitter.
And he fields it well. Little crow hop. Nice one-hop throw, just a little bit to the left. If it's on the bag, which is asking a lot to make a perfect throw, they would have had a chance to get Cruz at the plate. But all in all, pretty solid throw.
Gamel takes in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Ben Gamel, 275 average. Right at league average in on base, but does strike out a lot, 108 times this year. Hits this ball hard though, out to right field. Chu goes back, looks up, and that one is gone. A line shot homer for Gamel, 9th of the year for him. And just like that, 4-0 Mariners.
Well, Miguel Gonzalez in the first inning had no problems. 3 easy outs, a soft fly ball, a weak ground ball, and a strikeout. But the second inning has not been quite so kind. Cruz hit a line shot to right. Alonso ripped one into right. That pitch is a splitter right down the middle of the plate. Zunino ripped one to left, and now Gamel rips a home run. So not locating the ball in the second inning with the same success he had in the first inning.
So now the 9th place hitter, Guillermo Heredia, and he takes a strike. Now he was throwing strikes and quality strikes in that first inning. Through 11 pitches, 10 of them were strikes. It has not been quite as spot on here with the second. Gets Heredia to pop up to second, and that is out number 2. So now back to the top of the order.
Shortstop Genius Segura.
Now the home run by Gamel went 372 feet. And it was lined out of here. Chu hardly had time to make a move, turn a couple steps toward that wall, and it was gone. So now Segura. Segura has been aggressive in this series. It's this one high in the air out toward right field. Routine play for Shin-Soo Choo. And the inning is done, but a 3-run homer by Ben Gamble highlights a rally in the second. Seattle leads 4-0. Stopper, and this one today comes from Kansas City. Brandon Moss, a grand slam in the first inning. Boy, would that be big. Royals won 5-4. The White Sox have been providing a lot of help lately, but not able to do it today. Kansas City with that victory now, a half game back of the Rangers. Kansas City back at 500, 72-72. So starting to put some pressure on the Rangers from lower portion of the standings now, and we'll see plenty of that. If it's not Kansas City, it'll be Baltimore or even the Seattle team. Remarkable how many teams are still considered to be in this conversation. Little bouncer up the middle by Mazzara, and the Rangers have their first base runner of the night.
That's finding a hole. Second baseman shading over toward first. A lot of room up the middle. The Rangers can answer that 4-run top of the second. A breaking ball that breaks a little bit, but it stays up far enough for Nomar to get the bat on it. Didn't have to hit it very hard when you have that much room to shoot for. No infielders in our picture.
So now Joey Gallo. Boy, he takes a borderline strike there. That one caught the very reaches of the strike zone. 37 home runs. Third in the league.
Oh, that's two tough calls right there. Joey's been working so hard to be patient at the plate, and he lays off two less than borderline calls. Both those pitches could have been balls. No, technically they both be strikes, borderline pitches. They just didn't go his way that time.
Marco Gonzalez trying to go a little bit further out. You see where Joey Gallo is now with 70 walks, just one back of Shin-Soo Choo for the team lead. Now Choo's had appreciably more at bats and plate appearances. Gallo actually has a walk rate of about 15%. And that puts him not just tops on this team, but among the elite in Major League Baseball. 2-2. And there's strike three called. And that one was probably the closest of the three called. And that's just a tough at bat right there. Man, not much you could do with any of those pitches had you chosen to swing.
Well, you have to give Gonzalez some credit. He's not trying to throw a strike, and he hit the outside part of the plate on the edges pretty consistently in that at bat. Tough at bat.
Veteran umpire Jeff Nelson definitely signaling that the corner is open for business tonight. Here is Robinson Chirinos now.
All you can say after those calls is you hope that your pitcher's getting the same calls. That's definitely a pitcher's strike zone.
See there for Chirinos, 6 hits in his last 12 at bats. Now hardly begins to tell the story. Went a little too far in, 1-1. Chirinos has reached base safely now 25 straight games. It's the longest on base streak by a Rangers hitter since 2014. Adrian Beltre reached in 27 straight in 2014. Hits this ball down the left field line, and that one will drop in. Base hit. Mazzara heading to third base. He'll get there easily on the single by Chirinos. And now it's 26 straight for Robinson.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 55, Willie Calhoun.
Well, Willie Calhoun in his first big league moment. Called up earlier today and now in his first big league at bat. And on the corners, 1 out here. Man, that strike zone's
not a strike.
It's working its way further and further away from the plate.
If you're Marco Gonzalez right now and you can throw the ball where you want to, you should never give up a hit.
Bouncer threw into right field, base hit. Willie Calhoun with his first big league hit, and he gets the Rangers on the board. Yeah, a lot of family on hand today to see it, and there's that smile.
If the numbers show anything, they show that this kid can hit. He hits the ball to all fields. We mentioned before, in the last 2 years, he's averaged only 60, 65 strikeouts a year, which is a very low number. He had 300 this year in AAA, and the last 2 years in AA and AAA, he hit 58 home runs. So he is ready to get his look in the big leagues. He's earned the right to be here.
Rougned Odor trying for the similar spot to throw to second for 1 on the first double play. And the inning is over. A 3-6-1 twin killing, but the Rangers get on the board, and the rookie, Willie Calhoun, in his first big league at bat, gets him there with his first major league hit. Willie Calhoun with his first big league hit, and it resulted in a Rangers run.
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive hit, too. First pitch he took from the left-hander was a couple of inches outside. Got called a strike. And then the pitch he hit was a curveball down and out of the strike zone. And he just went down and grounded it right into right field for that RBI single.
Mitch Haniger bounces one slowly toward third. Good charge by Gallo to throw wide of the bag at first. Well, Haniger is on. Gather that would be an infield hit. And it is.
Second baseman Robinson Cano.
The ball hugged the line. And Joey got to it. It's going to be a close play at first base. If somehow he could have thrown the ball on the run and thrown it right on the bag, might have been a chance for it. But as slowly as it was hit, Haniger had a pretty good chance to beat that out anyway. Good thing is it went by the first baseman, but Haniger's still at first base.
So the lead man on in the very next pitch. This one launched out toward left field. Calhoun back to the wall, and that one off the fence. To third base, Haniger. They'll stop him there. It's a double for Robinson Cano. Now Calhoun, relatively new to left field and very new to this left field.
Cano hit this ball solidly to left field. It looked like Willie got a good jump. He got back. He just couldn't get high enough to catch it. Ball just went a little bit over his glove. Other than Haniger's infield hit, the other 5 hits have all been hit right on the barrel of the bat. Home run, a double, and 3 singles, all well hit.
Second and third, nobody out. Already leading 4-1, and the Mariners have the heart of the order. Nelson Cruz leads the American League with 107 RBIs. He is at the plate. Not exactly how you'd write this one up. Last night, the Mariners went hitless with runners in scoring position, 0 for 6. Early on here, they're 2 for 2. Inside corner not open for Miguel Gonzalez.
No, I don't know if he's getting the same pitches, but of course we're going to be favoring him over the opponent's pitcher. With all apologies to Jeff Nelson, the home plate umpire, that's just kind of the way we roll.
It's hard not to see it that way. 2-1 to Nelson Cruz. Cruz singled to start the 4-run rally in the second inning. 32 home runs, 107 RBIs. And a quiet night last night. It's off the plate. Second 3-ball count tonight for Gonzalez. Haniger third. Cano out at second base. Big game tonight for both these teams. That one fouled off. That's why when you get into games like these, it's not shocking when you see activity in the bullpen. Miguel Gonzalez, look, on a July afternoon, you give up 4 runs in the second inning, maybe put a couple of guys on in the third. Well, whatever, keep working, you know. But Nick Garnawine loosening up because you just cannot afford to let games get away from you when you only have 19 of them left on the schedule. And you're 2 out of a potential postseason spot. So he might be a little more patient earlier in the year, let a guy figure it out, settle in, chew up some innings. You're not going to do it right now. 3-2 pitch. And a high pop-up back of second base. Odor is out, but here comes DeShields and Chu. Chu makes the catch, and nobody advances. And that is a very big first out of the inning. Hey, don't miss the finale of the Silver Boot Series. The Astros and Rangers Monday, September 25th through Wednesday, September 27th. And the 27th, of course, the last in that three-game set. The final time these two teams will get together this year. Get your tickets for the Silver Boot Series at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Doug Brocail out there now. Have a little word with Gonzalez and maybe buy more time for Gardewine. So that's why it should be, Tom. The Houston Astros will be in town in that final week of the season. We had no idea that the season would end up the way it has. You figure these two teams to be great competitors, great rivalry. You love to see them playing divisional games against one another late in the season, which sort of dovetails into the schedule release for 2018. Amazing little quirk to the 2018 schedule is that the Rangers and Astros will not play one another after July 29th.
Yeah, and I'm definitely against that kind of schedule. I think within your division, you have 3 series at home, 3 series on the road against each team. You ought to have a series and an away series at the beginning of the season, the middle of the season, and the end of the season to spread them all out to the best you can. I think what happens in a schedule like that, where you play 19 times before the date you just mentioned, if one of the teams has a significant injury or two early in the season, you end up playing all your games against that team when they're not at full strength. You spread them out throughout the course of a season, you don't have to worry about that. Not to mention the factor of, if you're both in the race, getting to play head to head when they count the most at the end of the season. You don't have that anymore, at least not with the Astros next year. But when you make a schedule, I guess you have no idea who the contenders are going to be. But if you spread out the games within the division throughout the course of a season, then you don't have to worry about it.
This ball hit well out to right field. Chu simply looks. It is gone. Kyle Seager, 3-run homer. He has done it again. His 24th of the year. Second in this series. And those are some big runs for the Mariners. 7-1 the score.
Both home runs, the 3-run homer by Gamble, the 3-run homer by Seager, were off-speed pitches, belt high and right down the middle of the plate. Gamble hit a changeup right down the middle of the plate. Seager looked like it was a breaking ball. Same location.
That'll do it for Miguel Gonzalez. Jeff Bannister has to go to his bullpen. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Nolan Arenado with his 123rd RBI And now 3 straight years at 120 or more for him. He really is something else. Also plays a really good third base. Jose Abreu has been smoking out for the White Sox. 11 for his last 18. With some extra base hits in there and an OPS approaching 2,100. And the Dodgers have lost 11 straight. They had to stay up really late last night to do that. Longest losing streak in that franchise's history since they lost 16 in a row in 1944. Nick Gardewine coming on here.
Take a look at the Ford pitch arsenal for Nick. Good solid mid-90s fastball. He throws that a lot, 76% of the time. He'll also throw a cutter 20% of the time. So almost 95% of his pitches are in the 90-mile-an-hour to 95-mile-an-hour range. And even the off-speed pitch is close to it. That comes in the upper 80s. So if you're a hitter, you don't have to worry about anything slow. A curveball, a changeup, a splitter. You can pretty much gear up to hit something 90 and above.
Yonder Alonso with one out, the base is empty, doing just that, and he takes a strike. It's 1-1. Alonso had a base hit last inning. Mariners got 4 in the second and have now added 3 more here in the third. Gardewine's 1-1.
Well, when you throw 95 miles an hour, even a pitch that's 87 miles an hour, like that off-speed pitch, looks slow to the hitter. It definitely disrupts his timing. It's not like you have to throw a 70-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch when you're throwing in the mid-90s, 86, 87, right around in there. Serves as a good off-speed pitch. You can see how fooled Alonso was on that pitch.
Hits this one on the ground.
Same pitch.
The door right there. 2 gone here in the third inning. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson.
And let's check in on the Cleveland Indians in their pursuit of 20 consecutive wins. Looking good early. Francisco Lindor with a leadoff home run, his 30th, adding to what is already a career high. It's a 1-0 Cleveland Indian as they play in the 6th, guys.
Of course.
Corey Kluber's on the mound. How could the other team score?
Yep. Zunino turns away from ball 1. So they're going for 20 in a row. They're also trying to stretch their lead for the best overall record in the American League to 2 games over the Astros. A game and a half lead coming into play today. Well, Zunino had an RBI single in the second inning.
There's another pitch that hasn't gone the Rangers' way today. Looked like it was right on the outside corner.
Two and 1. Zunino yesterday went 1 for 4, had a double early in the game. The Rangers won yesterday 5-3. And that was a big game last night. Now this one, a big one as well. We talked about it a little bit last night. One of these 2 teams really has to take command of this head-to-head action. We're seeing 7 games in the span of 10 with these guys going head-to-head. Both of them figure to be in the race, but one of them really kind of has to dominate here. It's a full count now on Zunino.
Yeah, Minnesota's got the lead, and they've got the lead in their game tonight. They're ahead to San Diego 7-0. So if all the other teams continue to win one, lose one, and Minnesota continues to play the way they are, it's all going to be a moot point. Minnesota will be slowly creeping ahead of everybody.
Just missed. Not by much, and that is ball 4. Zunino is on. All right, looking ahead There's only one game you're not seeing on that schedule, the last game with Oakland. But a couple here with Seattle. Then out to Anaheim. Angels currently a game ahead of the Rangers. And then 3 more at Seattle. And you have a lot of Oakland in that last week and change. And that too could be a big key. There's still plenty of time to run off that critical stretch, whether it's 6, 8 games, whatever it is. It's going to take a nice little run, though. One strike offering to Ben Gamel off the hands, blooped over third, drops in. That's a base hit. Zunino slams on the brakes out at second base. Gamel with his second hit of the day. And the inning continues. 2 base runners on now for Heredia.
Center fielder Guillermo Heredia.
He fought that pitch off. It jammed him. Not pretty as you watch it, but it looks pretty in the box score the next day.
No, especially when it's in a box score in which you hit a home run, right? Then you just assume that guy was hitting.
Just icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's just hitting liners everywhere. Heredia popped up last inning. Gardewine would certainly take that here. On in relief for Miguel Gonzalez. Things did not go well tonight for Gonzalez. He looked really good in the first inning, though. But then innings 2 and 3 got to him. Gonzalez today 2 1/3. Gave up 7 runs on 7 hits, no walks and a strikeout. Gardewine, meanwhile, and the opportunities he has had, he has been really good. He's allowed 1 earned run in the 4 games since being recalled from Double-A Frisco. That'd be a span of 3 1/3 innings. He was also with the club for about a week, or maybe half a week in August. On 1 pitch, and it is off the plate. Gardewine just trying to finish this inning off, and we'll see what happens from there. The 3-run homer by Kyle Seager knocked Gonzalez out. The 2-1 pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Gardewine spent the entire season at Double-A, was 1-2 with 6 saves, had a .221 earned run average. Allowed just 9 earned runs all year in 33 relief appearances. So he did a nice job. Certainly earned this opportunity. It's a fly ball out to right center, and DeShield shows off the speed, tracks that one down. So the inning is done, but the 3-run homer by Seager extends Seattle's lead. It's 7-1. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, not a real surprise, really, to see that guy, Kyle Seager, having an impact on this game offensively. A 3-run homer at the top of the inning. That has extended the Mariners' lead now to 6 runs. So some wood to chop for the Rangers the rest of the night tonight. That's the bad news. The good news is it's only the 3rd inning. Plenty of time to get those runs back. And Ryan Rua, his first at bat of the night, takes ball 1 from Marco Gonzalez. Shoots it down the right side and heading down the line. That one is foul. Long strike on Rua, who yesterday walked and scored a run, was 0 for 2. But it appears Ryan's going to get a little time, some opportunity to play with some regularity, at least while we await more news about Mike Napoli and his physical condition. Rua hits that one right into left field, so a base hit, and that's how we begin the bottom of the 3rd. Back to the top of the order. Now, this was Delano DeShields last night.
Yeah, he beat out a bunt, which he's done 9 times this year, the most bunt hits in the American League. And then in a really exciting play, Chu doubles to left field, and watch Delano flying around 3rd base, and with a beautiful head-first dive is safe for the Rangers' 4th run, and then plates the 5th run himself with his 5th home run of the year. So a nice game for Delano last night. He showed a lot of different facets of his game, namely speed and also occasional power. I'd like to have the exit velocity for Ryan Ruiz hit into left field. That had to be a 107, 108. He smoked that thing.
Shields 0 for 1. And he takes a strike. What if I told you it was 111?
I believe it.
Yeah.
I was conservative. Yeah, he killed that ball.
Ryan with a couple of stolen bases. 1 and 2 on DeShields. Marco Gonzalez. Little run support tonight for him. Working with the 7-1 lead. Now, this is a guy who missed all of last year. Had the ligament replacement surgery on his left elbow. And it was on April 15th, so he missed the entire season. A great college pitcher from the Pacific Northwest. Went to Gonzaga University. And he strikes out DeShields for the first out of the 3rd inning.
Right fielder, Shin-Soo Choo.
Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on MLB.TV Premium on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @That Premium. It is the #1 app for live baseball. Just go to MLB.TV for details. All right, here's Chu. Grounded out of the 1st inning, 0 for 1. Gonzalez, though, talking about his college career. So he pitched for the Zags. And he was good. He was a 2-time West Coast Conference Co-Player of the Year. He shared the honors both times with Chris Bryant, the superstar 3rd baseman with the Chicago Cubs.
Nice play out in left field with a bare hand. Pretty impressive.
Kept the beer intact, too.
Nice play by the big guy. It's a way to impress your date.
Line drive, base hit by Chu. So Rua to second base. Rangers have a couple of base runners in this 3rd inning.
Chu continues to swing it. 31 for his last 96, hitting over 320 for an extended period of time. Going right back through the middle with another line drive. Rangers need to use the same plan of attack that the Mariners have used. Try the 3-run homer. Got a couple of guys coming up that have done it before.
Now Andrews, first man in line for that. You can see 4 home runs this month. His 14 RBIs, third most in the bigs in his first 10 games of September. Grounded out in the first inning, and he takes a strike from Marco Gonzalez. Well, the Rangers are down by 6, but as we mentioned, a lot of time to go. Had 3 hits last inning, 2 hits already here in the third inning. So it doesn't appear that Marco Gonzalez is fooling too many guys. Just his 7th appearance with the Mariners. Well, chopper foul makes it 0-2. How important is it, Tom, when you fall behind early like this, and we like to say, well, it's early. But if you don't get any runs early,
then it's late.
Then it's late in a hurry.
I think you go back to the John Blake Peckaway theory.
Oh, yeah.
When you're behind big early, you don't necessarily have to have the big inning, but you do have to start pecking away. You have to get 1 here, 1 there.
Well, Andrews down looking, 2 away. And so it's going to be up to Nomar Mazara.
Gonzalez has pretty good command. He's taking advantage of a liberal strike zone tonight.
Yeah, he has only missed the strike zone 8 times so far. 26 strikes. Or rather 27 strikes now and 8 balls. So he has been right in there. Now Mazara had a hit off him in the second inning and has scored the Rangers' only run so far. He's also one of the best RBI men in the American League, 93 of them. We were talking earlier about Chu and his improvement against left-handed pitching. Nomar Mazara, last 20 games, hitting .333 against lefties. He's made a fantastic adjustment. Pitch from Gonzalez, and that one is in there.
I can see why he only has 8 balls in the game. If it's close in any direction, it's been a strike tonight. If Sandy Koufax was pitching tonight, the Rangers might not foul a ball off.
Here's the 0-2. That ball hit well out to right center field. It will get down, base hit. Rua's in easily. They'll stop Chu at third. Mazara drives in another one, his 94th of the year. That's step 1 of the chip away plan. There you go.
Well, Nomar took a tough pitch for strike 2 and then gets a good pitch to hit. Gonzalez grooved a fastball right down the middle of the play. He'd like to have that one back. And Nomar jumped on it just like he did last night against Ariel Miranda when he was behind in the count. Got a high fastball and doubled off the top of the wall in right field for 2 RBIs.
They're on the corners now for Gallo. Joey struck out looking in the second inning. And it was one of the more frustrating at-bats he has likely had this year. A lot of hitters are willing to concede that occasionally a borderline pitch might not go their way. But he had a tough one as he lines this one to center field. That gets another run home. 2 scores, Mazara to second. 7-3 ball game.
Unfortunately, Gonzalez is not able to make those borderline pitches one right after the other. And Joey got a pitch up. Probably on the outside corner, though. But he put a good swing on it. The only question was he going to hit it too hard and allow Heredia to catch it? But No problem. It landed in front of him. Joey picks up an RBI. Good at bat. The Rangers are one swing away from making this a much different ball game.
Yep, and Robinson Chirinos stepping in. Chirinos 5 for 9 with a home run and a double on this homestand. About as locked in as a guy gets. And he takes a curveball for strike one. Chirinos had a base hit in the second inning, 1 for 1 tonight. He takes strike two. Two big base runners out there. Jeff Bannister offering some encouragement. When I say big, I mean that in terms of their importance, also their size. Those are two big guys. Joey Gallo, 6'5" at first base. Zara, nearly 6'4" of him out there at second, and it's 1 and 2. Two runs already in here with the third inning. When you look at OPS for the Rangers, on base plus slugging, Chirinos at .930. That's best on the team. Time called, and he'll back away. That one doesn't count.
That was a good call right there, because that pitch was right where about 7 or 8 pitches have been today. Barely touching the inside part of the plate. Would have been a strike, but a very tough pitch to hit.
The 1-2. And it's square now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. How about this? Last 30 games against left-handers. Chirinos with an OPS well over 2,000. And yes, that is the highest in baseball. Well, he is feasted on left-handed pitching already with a hit tonight.
His on-base percentage over the last month has been over 50%.
It's this one on the ground. Second base. And plenty of time for Cano. So the inning is done, but the Rangers get 2 back. And they got the first one back on a big swing by Nomar Mazara, his 94th RBI of the year.
7-3 as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington, and pleased to be joined by a couple of very, very proud parents, the parents of Willie Calhoun, Lamont and Monica Calhoun. Monica has designated Lamont as the talker in this group. Lamont, what has the last 18 or so hours been like for you guys as a family?
It's been exciting. Words can't explain it. Just a wonderful experience for the last 18 hours, and just thank the good Lord for that.
You guys got the call last night, late, flew in from Oakland today, able to get an up-close and personal view of your son's first Major League hit and RBI. What was that like?
Nervous.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking. Heart was pounding out my chest, but I was very happy for him for his first AB to get that hit out the way so he wouldn't be nervous for, rest of the game.
What should we know about your son?
He is a very hard worker, very humble, very low maintenance type of kid. You don't have to worry about him. He's going to come to work every single day for his organization, and he's going to be a good example off the field as well.
Well, Dad and Mom, congratulations to you both. Enjoy the evening, and I know you're very proud. And welcome to the Rangers organization, guys.
How about the Cowboys? How about the Cowboys?
He's fitting in just fine.
that comes
He's
naturally
from
apparently.
Oakland, too.
Wow.
Well, you couldn't get a better scouting report than Dad just gave to his son. Didn't say anything about baseball, but all the other things are way more important than that.
Segura with a fly ball to right field, one away, and here is Mitch Haniger now. Austin Bibbins-Dirks taking over here in the fourth inning for the Rangers.
Forward pitch arsenal for Austin. Fastball, he mixes his pitches up. He has a low percentage of fastballs compared to most pitchers, but he throws a lot of cutters, which essentially is a fastball. Changeup, slider. If you're a hitter against him, you're going to get a look at a lot of different pitches. He throws from a lot of different arm angles too, not just traditional over the top. He'll drop down sidearm. Over his minor league career, which is extensive, he's developed a lot of different pitches and a lot of different arm angles to throw him at.
Two-0 to Haniger, and that is off the plate. Ball three. Haniger today, strikeout, infield hit, and a run scored. 7-3 Seattle. There's a big spot now for Bibbins-Dirks. If they, you'd love to see him get a shutdown inning here after the Rangers just scored a couple. Get his team right back up to the plate. And then, of course, likely Jeff Bannister's going to want him to throw numerous innings in this one tonight. This one lifted down the left field line, right near the pole, and it is foul. That is a long strike on Haniger.
Well, talking about Haniger in last night's game, how hot he's been. 23 for his last 47. And right before that, he was 6 for 53. So he was about as cold as you could get for a long time. Now he's about as hot as you can get for a long time.
Hard bouncer, shortstop, a bobble. Andrews slings it over in time, and they just get Haniger.
They got him, but he put a charge into that ball. Hit that kind of like a Ryan Rua hit the one into left field. This time, though, Elvis was able to get in front of it. A rope, too. It was almost too hot to handle. Elvis didn't have time to do anything but flip it over there as quickly as he could. And he did it accurately and just barely got Haniger at first base.
So 2 gone, and Robinson Cano pops this one straight up into shallow left field. Andrews will give way. Calhoun tucks it away, and it's a 9-pitch fourth inning for Austin Bibbins-Dirks. And guess who will lead things off when we come back for the bottom of the fourth? (7-3). Mariners leading. Willie Calhoun leading things off. This was his first at bat tonight.
And it was a good at bat. That pitch is a breaking ball, down and away, borderline pitch, maybe not even a strike. And he just acted like he knew the pitch was coming. Went down and grounded it sharply into right field.
First pitch swinging this time down to first base, and that one handled easily by Alonso. Calhoun's second at bat, a brief one.
Second baseman, Odor.
Hey, this Wednesday is Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night. Rangers and the Mariners. And by the way, this Wednesday, that's tomorrow. Head on out to the ballpark tomorrow and enjoy hot dogs for just $1 each. Tickets still available, TexasRangers.com, or by calling 972-RANGERS. Here is Odor. Brugman bounced into a double play in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Rangers had 3 hits in the second inning, had 4 hits in the third inning against Marco Gonzalez, and have cut into the lead. It's now a 4-run game, but they need to continue to put pressure on the Mariners left-hander. It's 3-0. Odor has struggled lately, but takes that one in, and that's ball 4. So he is on with 1 out here in the 4th inning. A little break right there, and it continues for Rua, who really squared one up for a base hit in the 3rd inning.
The first baseman, Ryan Rua.
3rd straight start tonight for Rua. And he's now 4 for 7 with a couple of walks in these 3 consecutive starts. So the playing time has treated him well. Anyway, his first pitch in there for a strike from Gonzalez. Tonight is Rua's 33rd start at first base this year. Also had a few starts in left field. generally in there against left-handed pitching. We mentioned it earlier. We're hoping to find out a little more about Mike Napoli. I guess it was his right ankle that was taped up heavily today, and it wasn't real clear what his status would be either tonight or going forward. We've had some diagnostics, MRI and whatnot, trying to see if there's a bigger problem for Napoli in play, but for right now listed as day-to-day, not on the lineup today. And Rua, the beneficiary, gets in the lineup. Ooh, strike 3 called on Rua. There are 2 away in the 4th inning. Man alive.
I guarantee you that Marco Gonzalez can thank a liberal strike zone to the fact that he's only given up 3 runs. You can just tell there's been several of them where Zunino has caught the ball and then moved it into the strike zone. When the catcher's doing that, it just tells you the balls aren't strikes. I don't blame Jeff Bannister a bit for being upset.
Bannister was ejected for arguing balls and strikes, perhaps from the dugout, or simply using a magic word or two. And Jeff Nelson nonplussed clearly by Jeff Bannister's opinion. Well, Banny ejected, and here's why.
That's not even close to being a strike. Watch the catcher. See the catcher raise the ball up by about a foot? Zunino knew that pitch wasn't a strike. There's one thing, if it happens every now and then, it's been happening for 4 innings.
And now Delino, and he takes strike 1.
Pitcher ought to throw a no-hitter getting these pitches.
That's what's so bizarre. We have 15 hits in this game, these 2 teams, in the 4th inning.
Well, the other side of it is, if you make those pitches, fortunately that Gonzalez hasn't always made those pitches. The Rangers have hit some balls hard. But you give that strike zone to Greg Maddux.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah, you got a no-hitter.
Line drive to center field, and a real nice play made by Heredia. The inning is done. Rangers leave another man. We go to the 5th inning tonight.
Congratulations,
Game summary. Unfortunately, it's going to feature a couple of at-bats by the Mariners. In the 2nd inning, Ben Gamble gets a changeup right down the middle of the plate, a splitter. He hits it to right field for a home run, and then looked like a hanging breaking ball. Kyle Seager, the next inning, In the third inning, another 3-run homer. He goes upper deck to right field. So in back-to-back innings, 2 3-run homers. Ben Gamble, Kyle Seager, and that's our 4-game summary.
So now to the 5th inning we go, and the first pitch to Nelson Cruz, lined into left field. He is on to start the top of the 5th for Seattle, his 2nd hit tonight.
That ball was hit a lot like the ball that Ryan Rua hit. Ryan Rua's, I think Dave, you said was 111. I bet that one by Nelly Cruz was about 114.
Ooh, 114.
He put a charge in.
Danny.
Yeah, hanging slider. Hanging cutter, maybe.
All right, now you're cheating.
Why?
That was 114.
I figured Ryan Rua hit his best bolt and it was 111. And as strong and as hard as Ryan can hit the ball, Nelly's a notch above that. It looked like they hit the exact same ball, and therefore Nelly's had to go a little bit more than 111. And so 114 was the number. I remember Nelly came back when he was with the Rangers. He played a game over in Tucson, and the team in Tucson, I can't remember which team it was. Might have been the White Sox, the Indians. Anyway, coaches on the other team said he hit a ball that was the hardest hit ball they've ever seen hit in their lives. It wasn't even a home run. It was a line drive off the wall in left field. And so there's a lot of guys that can tune it up. Joey Gallo for sure for the Rangers, anywhere from 114 to 119, right around in there. Nelly's right there with all of them.
Two and one to count to Kyle Seager. Had the big 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. Kind of stretched things out a little bit for the Mariners. Would you love to have had that information? Now that we have it for today's players.
I wish I had it for Frank Howard's the guy I wish I had it for. I'd love to have had it on the line drive he hit that they talk about that went over Brooks Robinson's head, not above his glove, just above his head. It was so hit so hard he couldn't get his glove on it. And a couple of those balls he hit into the upper deck at DC Stadium off Sam McDowell. I think one was off maybe Mickey Lolich. The ones he hit out in Anaheim against Andy Messersmith and Clyde Wright. Whatever they're hitting him today, whether it's 118, 119, Stanton and the rest of them, Judge, whoever the guys are that are hitting, Big Hondo was right there, if not higher than they were. When Hondo took batting practice, the guys taking infield grounders while he was hitting stopped taking the grounders and backed up on the grass.
A pop up into left field, and Calhoun into a slide makes the catch.
Nice play. He stayed with that one. He's come in twice on balls. Earlier he came in, took charge, called the ball on a ball that Elvis was underneath, which shows pretty good reaction for a young outfielder, calling off the veteran shortstop. And this one, there's a lot of room for him to cover. He's playing deep in left field, and he comes as hard as he can, and with a slide makes a nice play. Stays with it all the way. Good play.
This is Dad Lamont on the left. His uncles.
Dad said his heart was pounding out of his chest, and I can imagine it was. We were talking before the game. There's no doubt that Willie was excited for this game, but his heart wasn't pounding half as hard as that group of family members that was watching.
Ball one to Yonder Alonso. Here's some of the fans heckling Jeff Nelson, plate umpire, after that call. A man on, one out here in the 5th inning. A swing and a miss. Austin Bibbins-Dirks, 2nd inning of work, was really sharp in the 4th inning. Once again, stepping in a much needed, very big role. Trying to keep this a decently close game, and it is 2-1. Oh, man. Break ball a little high. 3-1 to Yonder Alonso. He had a base hit in the second inning, grounded out in the third. Mariners 7 runs on 9 hits. They have stranded a couple. Really just 2 big swings in this one so far. This one hit hard out to right field, drops in, base hit. Cruz rounds second. And he'll get to third on the single by Yonder Alonso.
Look at the changeup grip, tailing down and away from him. Alonso still got a pretty good part of the bat on the ball as he hits it into right field for his second base hit. And Austin looking for a ground ball right here. Hey, double play. Get out of this inning. Rangers still right in this ball game at 7-3. They're swinging the bats well tonight. Liberal strike zone hasn't helped their cause, but hey, you got to work around that. They've had 7 hits in 4 innings, scored 3 runs, had a chance to score some more. So they can shut down the Seattle offense. Rangers should have plenty of time to come back and score some runs.
Well, Zunino has been on both times he has come up tonight. Once via the base hit, once via the walk. Bounces it foul for strike 1. Nick Gardewine got a couple of outs in the 3rd inning without giving up a run. Now Bibbins Dirks, who may be asked to go several innings. 5 wins, 2 losses, a .467 earned run average this year for Bibbins Dirks. One and one. Austin got the win in the opening game of the doubleheader in Atlanta earlier this week. I guess on Wednesday of last week. Threw 3 scoreless in that one. Grounder left side. Gallo to second, 1. The relay to first. Not in time. Not hit hard enough. Cruz able to score, and it makes it an 8-3 game.
It wasn't hit very hard, and it was going to have to be a perfect out of the glove cleanly to turn the double play. It looked like the ball got caught in Joey's glove just long enough to allow Zunino to beat it out at first base. If he's able to get that ball cleanly out of his glove right off the bat, they have a chance to get Zunino and save that run.
So Zunino picks up the RBI on the fielder's choice. And with 2 away, here is Ben Gamble. Gamble has one of the 3-run homers tonight, also a base hit. Trying to hold off. He did. Laz Diaz, our 3rd base umpire. Makes it 1-1. Big rookie year for Ben Gamble. 3rd among all major league rookies with a .275 batting average this year. Shoots this one over to the left side, out of play and foul. Gamble has had some real hot stretches, cold stretches. 0 for 3 with a strikeout yesterday. Stark difference to what we have seen in tonight's game. And he strikes out swinging. The inning is done, but the Mariners add a run. We're halfway there tonight. Seattle with a big early lead. Hey, a Coca-Cola family pack offers savings of over 30% on tickets, food, kids zone access, souvenir programs, and Coke soft drinks. Family pack is an ideal way to catch the Rangers the remainder of this week. These final 2 games against the Mariners. Go to TexasRangers.com/specials to get your Coca-Cola family pack today. And bring the kids out to a ball game. All right. Here we go. Chu, Andrews, Mazzara in the 5th inning. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Rangers. Rangers came in 2 back of the final wild card spot in the American League. And they are far enough out in the division, as is everybody in the division. No one's catching the Houston Astros, that it is all about the wild card. Chu is 1 for 2. The Rangers need to win the great majority of their games going in, and they need a little bit of help with some of the other clubs in the wild card race, not the least of whom are the Minnesota Twins. Twins currently holding that 2nd wild card spot. Bouncing ball slowly towards 2nd, and that one slow enough that Chu will have an infield hit to start the 5th inning.
Well, Chu's had a lot of balls this year that he's hit right at fielders, especially when he's gone inside out and driven the ball to shortstop area. He's hitting line drives at the shortstop. Some hard ground balls when there's only 1 fielder on the left side of the infield. So he's due to get a couple of hits like this. He hit the ball to the left of Robinson Cano, who's playing out in right field. So he has no chance to field this. He's too far away to make a throw. Goes as an infield hit for Chu. Get that leadoff man on. Big guys coming up. Rangers trying to get a big inning here to get back in the game.
High pop-up. Cano right there for it. One away. Take a look at the wild card standings in the American League. So the Rangers 2 games back coming into play today, but the Twins last check winning 12-0 at home, so a little pressure there. Kansas City and Baltimore right behind. So are these Seattle Mariners, and they like to consider themselves still in the hunt. Kansas City won a little earlier today over the White Sox. Mazzara swings and misses at strike 1. Rangers have games left against the Angels. In fact, will be there over the weekend. Angels at home tonight hosting the Houston Astros. Justin Verlander going for Houston. Garrett Richards will have the ball for the Angels, and the strike to Mazzara makes the count 0-2. Rangers have put some traffic out there on the bases. That one is low. 1-2 the count. So Mazzara in a hole here, 1-2. But that might not be the worst thing when you're facing Marco Gonzalez, at least lately. Time called now. How about these numbers with 2 strikes? You figure Gonzalez, well, he's in a spot to put guys away, right? No. The last 3 starts, opponents hitting .433 against him, getting on base better than 51% of the time. And very nearly got Chu leaning over there at first base. Those are stunning numbers. Talking about 61 hitters. Part of that sample we're talking about right there, but there's a strikeout looking. Mazzara takes inside on the corner.
Yeah, you're right, he took inside.
Third baseman, Joey Gallo.
All right, to bring up Joey Gallo. First, though, a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with Dana Larson.
And to Boston we go, Dave. The A's in town. Mookie Betts with 2 on, driving that one to right center off the short wall. Both runners score. It's Betts' first triple of the season. He'd go on to add 2 home runs as well. He's driven in 6, guys.
All right, thanks, Dana. A very high pop-up out into right field. And Cano goes out there, and he takes care of it. The inning is done. Just 9 pitches needed. We go to the 6th.
This inning is the big great inning. Open that inning. The Rangers pitching strikes out the first 3 batters.
Rangers trailing the Mariners 8-3 as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington. Game 2 of a 4-game set. Have a problem with numbers. You know what? Enough for me. Let's take a look at a welcome sight that happened this afternoon during batting practice as Adrian Beltre was back in the cage for the first time since that hamstring injury. He had taken a few light swings in the indoor cages leading up to this, but this was his first session out here in the cages. He said there's no timetable for what happens next. He was activated today, so technically he is available if the perfect storm happened and they needed someone to hit a baseball without having to run very far, because Adrian's not quite there yet. But the first step in getting back on the field for Adrian Beltre happened today, so that's some good news for you guys. Yeah,
thanks, Emily. And there was a lot of activity today around the ball club before the game. Little bouncer left side of the infield. Andrews in time to get Heredia at first. What a play.
What a great throw. You know, shortstops don't air it out every throw. They don't have to. They're into accuracy. But when they do, generally, they're not playing shortstop if they can't make this kind of throw. Joey can't quite get it. Elvis knows he's got to unload. He comes right over the top with his strongest throw. Right on the money, and you can see how close that play was. Heredia foot is about a foot off the bag when Ryan catches that ball. Elvis shows the kind of arm strength he has when he needs it.
Now Segura takes ball 1. Yeah, really nice play by Andrews. He's had a couple tonight. And a good play on Haniger in the 4th inning as well. Bivens Dirksen, his 3rd inning of work. And it is 2-0. Anyway, earlier today, the news that Adrian Beltre had been activated. He, along with Keone Kela. So the Rangers bullpen got a little stronger today with the addition of Kela. Of course, Willie Calhoun called up in the lineup today. Tyson Ross was released this afternoon. So a lot of moves today by the Rangers in front of this very big game against Seattle. 8-3 our score here in the 6th inning. So Kela in uniform, ready to go tonight if needed. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Another chance for Andrews. This time plenty of time. Segura gunned down, 2 away.
Good pitch right there by Austin. Ran that sinker in on the fists, and that hurt Segura's hand so much he couldn't run to first base. Knocked that right out of his hand with that pitch. Watch this ball tail right in and catch him right on the fist. Big swing, but not much in the way of a result. No one's going to get a result when you hit the ball right there on that part of the bat. Good pitch by Austin.
So 2 gone. Haniger takes one a little bit low for a ball. So it is a final, Tom. The Cleveland Indians beat the Tigers 2-0. A complete game shutout for Corey Kluber.
Boy, he had 109 pitches after the 8th inning. He let him go back out there and get it. What did he end up throwing? 120 pitches?
Kluber ended up with 113 pitches.
113.
Yep.
Must have read that wrong.
5 hits allowed, 8 strikeouts.
That's going to be a great vote for the Cy Young Award between Kluber and Chris Sale. Kluber is closing fast. I kind of lean toward Kluber. The only reason Sale has more strikeouts is he has 4 or 5 more starts than Kluber does. All the other numbers favor Kluber.
2-0. This ball ripped down the left field line, and it is off the wall. Wow, that thing was belted. Calhoun throws into second base, but Haniger with the double.
Now, Haniger's definitely swinging it. 24 for his last 49. An infield hit in this game. This double, the only question was whether it was going to be high enough. It was hit hard enough to be a home run. It's right off the top of the wall. And one of the hardest hit balls he hit was the shot that he hit at Elvis in the 4th inning. Kind of handcuffed Elvis, but he picked it up and threw him out anyway. Well, Haniger is just having some great at bats in this series. He is one hot hitter.
Fourth extra base hit tonight for the Mariners. 8th in these first 2 games. Now Cano. Now Bivens Dirks closing in on 40 pitches. Off and on, the Rangers have had some activity going in that bullpen, but he may be able to go a little deeper should he get Cano and close out this 6th inning. That one's in there. 1-1 to Cano, who doubled and scored a run in the 3rd inning. They're definitely entering that stage of the game where you start to look at the scoreboard, count the number of outs, look at the lineup, and start figuring how many times certain individuals may be coming back around. A 5-run game. The Rangers going to have to get something going, and of course Dirk's going to have to get out of this 6th. Two and one. Mariners have come up with the hits when they have needed them tonight. 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position. That ball hit well out toward right field. Chu is back, might have room out there, looks up, and that one is off the fence. Heading to second base, Cano with the RBI double, and it is 9-3 Seattle.
Boy, Cano had some hang time on that ball. He got underneath it. Looked like he might have gotten underneath it too much, and that Chu was going to be able to catch it, but that ball still carried 375 feet. And it hits right off the top of the wall. See how close Shin-Soo came to that ball.
Man.
Oh, boy, right off the green.
Now you could hear Jeff Nelson heading heading over to the Mariners bench and explaining that they may look at that and it'll be a crew chief review, a boundary call, because it wasn't real clear to them what exactly that ball bounced off of. And that's amazing. The slim little opening between Chu's glove and the wall that ball was able to slip in there. Really good effort by Chu. And I'm sure on this review they will see that rather quickly, that they got it right. It is a double.
Take another look at it. Chu goes up as high as he can go, and the ball is just above his glove. Kind of gets pinched against the wall by the back of his glove. Definitely not a home run. He's hit a little bit to the left. He might have hit the water bottle. Cano has launched one for a double to right and hit a shot to left field off the wall. Two well hit doubles for him. And the call is confirmed. It's a double.
So tack on runs in the 5th and now the 6th inning for Seattle, and those are tough. It was a 7-3 game going into the 5th inning, which already would have been a stiff enough challenge, but now 9-3 means that this offense is going to have to surge. So Cano at second. Here's Nelson Cruz, who has punished the ball a couple of times today as well. Cruz 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. No RBIs yet for Cruz tonight. Currently holds the league lead, 107 driven in. Good stop back there by Chirinos on the breaking ball. For Cruz, and it's not a huge surprise sort of how he does it. Last 51 games he's been on a real hot stretch since the middle of July. 15 homers, 37 RBIs. And when he gets hot, he can be very hard to stop. Takes that one low, and it's 3-0. Chirinos and Bibbins-Dirks taking their time, very deliberate with their signs. Cano out there at second base, and this one off the end of the bat. Down to first, little bobble, and now a feed to Bibbins-Dirks to end the inning. Another run scores, they'll force Seattle. They now lead by 6. Drive-In, our jackpot tonight, worth $700 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Diana Swanson of Stephenville, she is our contestant, looking to win $700 with a home run. But if I know Diana, and I hope I do, she is greedy enough to want $25,000 for a grand slam. I hope you are, Diana, and I hope you get it. So the Rangers looking for some big offense in this 6th inning, and they're going to do it against a new pitcher. James Pazos has come on here for Seattle.
Pazos has an excellent arm. He can get the fastball up there mid-90s to above. He's got a nice strikeout to walk ratio, 59 strikeouts. We've seen him a number of times so far this season. 50 innings, 59 strikeouts. And he's kept the ball in the ballpark. He's only given up 5 home runs.
First pitch to Chirinos. Good velocity, but up and in. One ball and one strike. It's interesting when he takes the ball out of his glove. Pazos sort of, it looks like he puts it near his hip. It almost looks like a guy who fumbles it for a second and then recaptures it on his back hip. But then comes the good heat. Chirinos 1 for 2, extending his streak of reaching base safely now in what, 26 games. One and two the count. So Pazos on for Marco Gonzalez. Marco Gonzalez went 5 innings tonight. Allowed 3 runs on 8 hits. Was not spectacular, but certainly benefited from a number of very close calls that went his way. Big swing and a miss, and Pazos has his first strikeout of the night.
Our AT&T high-speed replay is Rangers' newest player, Willie Calhoun, who in his first at bat on the 2nd pitch grounds a curveball into right field for a base hit and an RBI. He's also added a couple of nice defensive plays, especially this one. A long way to go near the line, kept his concentration, and with a lunge and a slide made a nice play. So far so good in this ball game for Willie Calhoun. I don't want to take anything away from Marco Gonzalez, but without the liberal strike zone, I'm betting that he doesn't give up only 3 runs in 5 innings. I don't know how he walked anybody. No, the only walk was to Odor, and he threw 4 pitches way out of the strike zone.
Well, in and of itself, I don't know that this is a great indicator, but he had 6 strikeouts. 5 of them were looking, which I think speaks a little bit to what was going on.
Well, the last one to Mazzara was definitely a few inches inside.
1 and 2 on Calhoun. Base hit and a ground out for Calhoun. It's a Rangers team that will strike out, but usually swing. 1-2 pitch.
You know, and I'm sure the strike zone, the same strike zone, was there for the Rangers, but Miguel Gonzalez just wasn't able to take advantage of it. The 2 balls he threw for 3-run homers were looked like a splitter and a hanging breaking ball right down the middle of the plate. So I think the strike zone was there, but you still have to execute your pitches.
Well, now a full count for Calhoun, who disdains the batting gloves. Payoff pitch, and he'll foul it off.
We talked about Willie in the 2 years that he had in the minor leagues, the last 2 years, AA year and a AAA year. Well over 500 at bats in both seasons, and a strikeout total that averaged out in both years to around 62 or 63 strikeouts. So he's a contact hitter with power. He's averaged 28 or 29 home runs in those 2 years, and he uses the whole field. So He is a hitting package that has excellent potential to be a very, very sound major league hitter. I wouldn't be shocked if he plays well in September and goes to spring training with a great chance to make the team and be one of the Rangers' regular players next year.
Emily could go back down and tell the family the game's being televised. We'll get him a copy. There's a swing and a miss, and Calhoun strikes out, 2 away in this 6th inning.
That's a pretty good challenge to come in your first major league game and face 2 left-handers, especially one like Pazos with a pretty solid breaking ball and a above mid-90s fastball. Tipped that ball, but unfortunately it stuck right in the glove of Mike Zunino.
So now 2 away for Odor. Nobody on base. 9-3 Seattle. And Pazos has come out looking pretty sharp here. Oh, and 2 the count on Odor. He struck out Chirinos. Got Calhoun swinging. There's ahead of Odor, 0-2. And that's strike 3. Breaking ball right in there, and that was a good pitch. And it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Pazos. We go to the 7th. Inning. And want to remind you, you do not want to miss the last post-game fireworks show of the season, Friday, September 29th. A's in town. And stay after the game. Fireworks show set to the players' walk-up music this season. That'll be fun. Fans can get a 20% discount on upper reserve tickets for this Friday home game. Just go to texasrangers.com/specials and join us Friday, September 29th. All right, here we go now in the 7th inning. Kyle Seager. He's homered again tonight. Homered yesterday. And Bibbins-Dirks misses outside with ball 1. 4th inning tonight for Bibbins-Dirks. Oh, look at that. Home runs against the Rangers among active players. That is not surprising, really. Seager has just been a menace. 2-0. Just a .255 average this year for Seager coming into play tonight. He'll take low. It's 3-0. Mariners have scored in all but 2 innings so far tonight, and they busted loose for a couple of big innings, a 4-run second and a 3-run third. That really certainly set the tone. There's ball 4. Seager walks to start the 7th inning. Now Bibbins-Dirks has the pitch count well in check, but they have had some relievers working in the bullpen on and off during his relief appearance, just in case he needs bailing out of an inning. But he has done such a good job this year in some of these long spots. Just trying to keep this one close enough. Yonder Alonso, a couple of hits tonight in 3 tries, and he takes in. And here comes Doug Brocale and Robinson Chirinos out there to chat with Bibbins-Dirks. Jose Leclerc had been loosening in the bullpen. So the schedules came out today. Major League Baseball and all their teams releasing the basics of their schedules for next season. Rangers season will begin on March 29th in 2018. And it begins with a 4-game series against the Houston Astros. Of course, the National League teams that will be visiting: the Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Padres, and Rockies. Big home games against the Astros on July 4th. Labor Day at home against the Angels. Certainly some oddities to the schedule next year, but there always are. This ball hit hard down the right field line, foul.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to put together a 162 game schedule for 30 teams. All 30 teams have individual requests that they make, and the schedule maker just has to do the best that they can to put together a schedule. Not an easy thing to do. One thing that stands out, it looks like we have a lot of homestands end with an off day the next day, which I guess would be a travel day. That's a little bit unusual. Don't usually have that many days.
High fly ball, short right field. Odor backing out there, clearly wants it. Or put it away, 1 away. Well, tomorrow will be game 3 in this series with Seattle. In our AT&T pitching matchup, Mike Leake goes to the hill for Seattle. Martin Perez, he's been on a great run lately. And Martin Perez tomorrow will be bidding to tie a franchise record. He's going for a win in 8 consecutive starts. Looking forward to that one tomorrow night. 7:05 for the first pitch. Pre-game coverage will begin at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Martin Perez is not in the bullpen tonight. He's sitting in the bullpen. Just wants that vantage point, relax and contemplate his start. And he's been on a nice roll. Hopefully he'll continue it tomorrow with another excellent start. Well, there's 2 good sidearm sliders right there to Zunino. Mentioned that Austin Bibbins-Dirks features a lot of different types of pitches, and he throws from different arm angles too. I drop down from that sidearm angle. You can see the spin on the slider, and you can see that that ball broke away from Zunino's bat to where his bat didn't reach the ball. And there it is again. He reached it, and
yeah, that's going to be a tough play. Into a slide to Shields, can't get it. Calhoun there to back it up, but Zunino bloops one out there. His 2nd hit of the night.
The first 2 sliders were so far away he couldn't reach them. This one is not a bad pitch, really. It's down and away, borderline strike. Zunino doesn't do much with it. He hits it off the end of the bat. Looked like the liner was playing a little bit around toward right center field, so he had a far enough distance to cover that he couldn't quite get to it. Falls in for a bloop single.
So Steve Buechele, acting manager after the ejection earlier, takes the ball from Austin Bibbins-Dirks. Here comes Jose Leclerc.
Change as Jose Leclerc is on for the Rangers, and it is time for our State Farm winning combination. And it comes from the bullpen, and the story, the tremendous story of Jake Diekman continues and rolled on last night. He's had a tremendous performance since coming back off the DL after having his colon removed in the offseason. A series of 3 surgeries. He's since come back for 5 innings, no runs, no hits, 7 strikeouts, and it may be surprising to everyone else, but if you followed Jake's journey, you saw the determination. I remember him telling the coaches he would be back, he would be stronger than ever, and he would for sure be back this season. He had a couple of setbacks along the way as far as the rehab was concerned, but the work that Jake Diekman is doing only adds another chapter to his tremendous story.
Yeah, it has been something else. And now Gamble, first pitch swinging, shoots this one out into left field, and the Mariners will go station to station. And Gamble for a moment there looked like he might get Seager, and Seager wasn't real sure, but does stop. And now the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, Willie Calhoun charged this ball aggressively. So he's going to cut the distance that he had to throw the ball. And see how fast he charges in after that ball, and he comes up and makes a solid throw to the cutoff man. Looks like he's handling left field pretty well in this first game out there.
So bases loaded now for Guillermo Heredia, and Leclerc deals very high with ball 1. Well, the 2 through 8 hitters for Seattle, each of them has at least 1 hit. Oh, it's only the bookends of the lineup. Segura, the leadoff man, Heredia, the 9th place hitter, who are without hits so far tonight. Well, that's a strike, 1-1 the count. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the 7th inning. Oh, he went again. 1-2 the count. Our Kubota power stats tonight. Jose Leclerc, opponent's hitting just 145 against him. A lot of strikeouts in his 42+ innings pitched. Those numbers are fabulous. The one number that still needs some attention on occasion are the walks. That one is outside. It's 2-2.
Yeah, all the ingredients are there for an excellent late inning bullpen pitcher. The off-speed pitch, that deceptive change-up slider that he throws, mid to upper 90s fastball. the ability to strike out a hitter late in a ball game when you need a strikeout. It's all there. And now it's just a matter of refining the command, being able to locate the strike zone a little bit better. When he does that, and there's no doubt he can be a very successful late inning reliever for the Rangers.
Got Heredia looking, and there are 2 gone.
And this is what we're talking about. Now, this game is obviously 9-3, but you come into a game late in a ball game, game on the line, bases loaded. You like to have a guy like Jose in the game, a guy that can strike someone out, keep that run from scoring, man on third base in less than 2 outs. But to have confidence in that guy late in a ball game with men on base, he has to be able to throw strikes. That's the bottom line. And so he's searching for that, working toward that. Still very young. Plenty of time to refine that command. Certainly like to have a guy with his arm trying to refine his command rather than a guy with command and bad stuff. And at times he's shown that command. It's not like he's all over the place every time out. There are certain times he comes in the game where he really struggles with his command. There are others where he comes and he's right on target and sails through his innings. Hitters don't like to face him, that's for sure.
2-0 to Segura, and a swing and a miss. And there was a stretch earlier this year where he was really sharp for a long little stretch, and when the Rangers really needed him, or someone for that matter, to come in and shore things up a little bit out of that bullpen. 2-1. Way in. Leclerc's first 14 games of the year, he had a 172 earned run average. He had 8 walks and 25 strikeouts. Popped up first base side, and that one heads foul and out of play. Walks really didn't become a big issue for him until closer to mid-August. August 11th, had an outing against the Astros where he walked 3 in 2/3 of an inning. And all the way up until one of his most recent outings. He had just a rugged stretch there. 15 walks and 3 strikeouts in a span of 9 appearances. And there's a big bases loaded walk to Segura. Leclerc's most recent outing against the Yankees was a good one, 2/3 of an inning, and had the 1 strikeout, no walks. This time got the strikeout, but the walk to Segura brings home a run. So the Mariners now into double digits tonight. 10 runs on 14 hits. Just the second time since the All-Star break that Seattle has scored as many as 10 runs in a game. They're still loaded for the hot-hitting Mitch Haniger. Leaving the count at 1-1. And that one's low. 2-1 on Haniger.
And you can see the movement on the fastball, velocity on the fastball. Just a matter of getting a little bit closer to the strike zone.
Off the plate, that one gets away from Chirinos. a start from third base, but then ultimately Zunino returned. He was nearly hung up.
It's hard to know exactly what to do, because if the ball hits softly, obviously it stays right there and you score easily. But if it hits the brick and comes straight back, you're a dead duck. Ball goes off Robinson's glove, and fortunately doesn't turn into a run and a pass ball.
So 3-1 the count, and Haniger hits this one on the ground, third base. Great stop by Gallo. He'll go the short way to second. Inning is over. Nice defensive play by Joey Gallo, and we'll go to the last of the seventh in a 7-run game.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Inning. Willie Calhoun, an RBI single in his first big league at bat. That was a great moment early on here tonight. But the Mariners 3-run homers by both Ben Gamble and Kyle Seager at 10-3.
We'll take a look at the fourth inning. The pitch from Gonzalez. Watch the catcher's glove. I think anytime the catcher catches the ball and then lifts his glove back up a foot into the strike zone, pretty good indication that the ball's not a strike. And Jeff Bannister had seen what looked to him and looked to us like a very liberal strike zone, and had finally seen one pitch too many. Got into an argument and he was ejected. And I guess if you're going to get ejected, it's tough to argue with that pitch as one you would argue about.
So Ryan Rua, first time up since that moment, takes a very similar pitch, this time down low for a ball. Rua 1 for 2. He'll give way to the top of the order. Rangers down by 7. It's 1-1. Popped up on the infield near third base. And easy play for Seager. 1 out here in the 7th inning. Dan Altavilla is the new pitcher here in the 7th inning for Seattle.
You can see Altavilla's numbers on the season. 37 innings, about a hit an inning. Pretty average numbers all the way around. Few too many home runs, probably 8 home runs in 37 innings.
Well, he gets his first man now to the top for Delano DeShields, who's been quiet tonight, 0 for 3. strikeouts tonight for the Shields. Last time out, hit a ball hard, but for an out. Average now at 279. Altavilla, this is his 5th go-round with Seattle. They have shuttled players back and forth between Tacoma and Seattle quite a bit. A real good proximity to their AAA club. Seems like he has been around every time the Rangers and Mariners have squared off. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Pazos came on last inning for Seattle, struck out the side in order. Now Altavilla. Between the two of them and the end of Marco Gonzalez's outing, the last 7 Rangers have been retired. It's a full count on the Shields. There's ball 4, so now a base runner. The Shields aboard in this 7th inning. Well, the Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. Help people affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. All right, a 1-out walk here in the 7th inning. And here is Chu. And he fouls one off for a strike. Chu has a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 3. And Chu, the only Ranger who is yet to strike out in the ball game. To the count. Altavilla very recently turned 25 years old. This is upstairs to Chu. 1-2 the count. Signed through this year. Mariners selected him with a 5th round pick in 2014. Chu goes down and pops this one up. Shallow center field, and that is out number 2. Elvis Andrews heading to the plate, but first a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with Dana Larson.
Dave, thanks. Reds and Cardinals. The Cardinals trying to stay in the hunt for that 2nd National League wild card spot. 3.5 out. There is Tommy Pham doing his part, a 2-run triple there, and the score at the moment, Cardinals up big, 10-4 in the 7th, guys.
Now, holy Tommy Pham, Batman. He has been really good in this 2nd half, and the Cardinals, it was hard to see that coming. They made just an amazing run in this 2nd half at the Cubs. As Andrews takes one down low for a ball. You look at that division now. The Cubs just have not been able to shake, whether it be the Brewers or the Cardinals. It's a 2-game lead going into play today.
Every time it looked like Chicago was going to run away with it, something strange happened, like Milwaukee sweeping them last week. 3 straight ball games. Definitely evened things up and has made the last 3 weeks nerve-wracking for Cub fans.
Well, the Cubs are going to get the Cardinals at home over the weekend. And then I think they play again in the final week of the season as well in Chicago. You know, for all that great rivalry, Chicago and St. Louis, very rarely have the two of them ever been in it in a pennant race together. And both of them, you know, that rivalry going back a long time.
So if you go back a month, what would you say would have been more unusual? Cleveland winning 20 straight or the Dodgers losing 10 straight?
Dodgers losing 10 straight.
I think so too.
But the Dodgers have now lost 11 in a row.
11 straight.
They're playing
what
tonight.
did they? Do you remember the streak that they had? Was it 60 and 11 or 40 and 6? They had some ridiculous stretch. And then to imagine that same team could lose 11 straight games is just kind of ridiculous.
Indeed, as Andrews takes ball 4, second walk in the inning allowed by Altavilla. Rangers have a couple of base runners now for their best RBI man, Nomar Mazara, coming up. Yeah, they look like a team that not only would you not expect them to lose 11 in a row or even close to that, you figured they were going to threaten for the all-time record for wins in a regular season. I'm not saying that they were going to get to 116, but they certainly had a shot at it. Not now. Now they're holding on for dear life. Not in the sense of winning the division. They'll win the division. But it's getting to the point where things are going so bad there. Folks are wondering, well, what's the point of the postseason?
Well, if they get things straightened around a little bit, they still have Clayton Kershaw to start the first game, so they're still in pretty good shape.
Yeah, once they get to the postseason, they give the ball to Kershaw in game 1. You feel pretty good. The pitch to Mazara is low. Now, talking about rivalries, the Dodgers are in San Francisco against the Giants. Giants won yesterday after a long rain delay, and there's a rivalry that goes back to the 1800s. And those two, the Giants and the Dodgers, they've been involved in a lot of great pennant races where both teams were in it, and it did come down to the final, week of the season. That's been, for me, that's why that one's always been such a terrific rivalry. Cubs and Cardinals to me, because you rarely ever see the two of them battling tooth and nail against one another at the end. It's always kind of like that, but this year we may well get it. Mazara, speaking of getting it, hits one well out to right field, but not quite well enough. Haniger is there, and the inning is done. And the Rangers leave 2. We head to the 8th. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. Well, it's a 7-run game, and it's now the 8th inning here at Globe Life Park. Beautiful night again tonight. Temperatures currently in the 70s. Jose Leclerc out for a little more here in the 8th inning, and he's got a new battery mate. Brett Nicholas has come on for Chirinos. Second game in this 4-game series. Rangers won the opener yesterday. Seattle trying to fight back tonight and get themselves to within a game of 500. Cano's hit a couple of balls hard tonight. See the 2 for 4, couple of doubles. And 1 the count. Bouncer right side and just past the diving Rougned Odor. So Cano on to start the 8th inning. All right, we were talking about the Dodgers last inning and what they've been going through. How about this 11-game losing streak, Tom? Look at some of those numbers. 2.7 runs a game.
Yeah, it's tough to win when you're giving up an ERA of 6, or I can't tell if it's a 5 or a 6. 6.63 ERA, and you're scoring 2.7 runs a game. You're not going to win many games with those numbers. But again, the way the Dodgers were playing for months makes it kind of hard to understand how they could go through a stretch like that for such a long time and put up those numbers. Baseball's a funny game. Over 162 games, a lot of things can happen. Maybe they had some guys playing over their heads a little bit. Players that were putting up years that they never had before.
1-1 to Nelson Cruz. Yeah, it's a funny game. Funnier to some than to others, depending on when you catch them. I mean, it was all giggles earlier for that team. There was a stretch there of 35 games where the Dodgers went 31-4. High bouncer third base. Gallo goes to second. No relay offered. So force out at second base. Cruz is on via the fielder's choice.
Yeah, if you were to say before the season started to the Dodgers that you would be 92-52 on September 12th, 40 games over 500, you would be thrilled with that. And again, it would be pretty difficult to understand that you could be 40 games over 500, having just lost 11 straight games.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please for Seattle, number 13.
Pinch runner here now for Seattle. As Hanneman comes on to run for Cruz. So big DH out of the game now. So a couple of guys getting a little time off their feet. Jacob Hanneman, a waiver claim from the Cubs on September 4th. Former third-round pick out of BYU. So he's at first for Kyle Seager. Well, Dodgers, they got some incredible production from guys like Alex Wood, and I can't remember what it was. He was like 11-1 at one point. Didn't quite seem sustainable, and he has come back down to earth. 1-1 to Seager. And then you had some of the young guys who had put up big numbers for the Dodgers, and then there were the sort of the more veteran guys who you wondered, you know, they weren't having big years. I don't know. They got a lot to figure out there, though. 1-2 the count. outside of the Indians, I think 29 other teams feel like they've got plenty of their own housekeeping to take care of right now.
And the Indians have won most of these 20 games without Michael Brantley.
Little flare out to left field, and a
catch that?
diving effort. And another great defensive play in left field tonight for the rookie. Willie Calhoun.
I don't know if he caught that. He might have gotten a force out at second base. I think the umpire signaled that he didn't catch it. The runner went back to first, and the throw came into second for a force out. Let's see if he caught it or not. No, he didn't catch it.
Ooh.
But they still got a force out at second base. Boy, that's a beautiful play and a great effort out there. Willie Calhoun has held his own out there in left field pretty well today.
So he gets his assist after all.
Yeah.
A 7-6 force out at second base.
That's a weird one on your scorecard.
And Seager is on via the fielder's choice. And that's, by the way, for Jacob Hanneman, who'd come on to pinch run. I mean, that's a bit of a grinder for a guy. You can't tell what the heck happened.
Well, if he was able to pick up the umpire, then he would have seen that he didn't catch it. But to a runner, without the benefit of instant replay, it looked like he did catch it. So Willie's played aggressively out in left field. He's charged everything. He's called off the shortstop to catch a pop-up. Made a nice throw home that didn't quite get Nelly Cruz on a close play at the plate. Got his first major league hit, first major league RBI. So all the way around, he's played a nice ball game tonight.
Worth pointing out, too, Calhoun, a guy in the minor leagues, had appeared in 36 games in left field. He had only made 35 starts as a left fielder in the minors. Second baseman, was DH at times, but he's really new to the position, and he's done a fine job tonight.
Yeah, the fact that he's new to the position makes you have a good feeling about his ability to get better and better out there. You love the way he plays aggressively. It's not like he's tentative out there waiting back on the ball. He's going after it out there.
3-0. Count to Yonder Alonso. A man at first, 2 out. Here in the 8th inning. Nobody holding Seager. Takes that walking lead off first base. And there's ball 4. So 2 men on. So right at the end of the minor league season, second to last day. This is September 3rd in Round Rock. This was Calhoun, and that was a walk-off grand slam that finished an 8 RBI night for him.
Well, you could see the pitch he hit. It wasn't a strike. It looked like it was up and away. And he went the other way to left center field, 410 feet. It shows the power that he had. Again, 58 home runs in the last 2 years, AA and AAA in the minor leagues. And a lot of those were home runs to left field.
Well, Clerk fires one in there for a strike to Mike Zunino. 2 men on, 2 out, 8th inning. And a swing and a miss. Jose Leclerc came on last inning. Eventually issued a bases loaded walk. That's one of 2 walks he has allowed tonight. Trying to get to an inning and 2/3 here in relief. Runners will move up on that one in the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch. So Alonso to second, Seager to third base. Well, Seattle took control of this one early. 4 runs in the second inning. Ben Gamble with a big home run. They added 3 more in the third on a Seager 3-run bomb. And since then, it just slowly but surely tacked on insurance runs one at a time in the 5th, 6th, 7th innings. It's 2-2. Well, Clerk now at 34 pitches for the night.
17 strikes, 17 balls. It kind of underscores what we said when he came into the ballgame. The ability to throw dominating pitches, but the inability to consistently hit the strike zone in the strike zone. That makes sense. To hit the strike zone in the strike zone. Could have stopped right after hit the strike zone. But you know what I meant.
I'm with you. I'm following you. And I think you're right.
Be tough to hit the strike zone out of the strike zone.
Well, I don't know. We've seen some stuff tonight. Here's a 2-2. And there's strike 3 called. He got it right in the strike zone. And so the Mariners leave 2 in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 8th. That's remaining, and a reminder for you, tickets for groups of 20 or more start at just $12. They do offer great savings off gate prices, and group pricing is available in 9 different seating areas, including the all-inclusive Cholula all-you-can-eat seats. Learn more about group savings offered for every Rangers game at texasrangers.com/groups. All right, Joey Gallo will lead things off here in the 8th inning for the Rangers. Shea Simmons is the new pitcher for Seattle.
Only his 4th game. He's pitched 3 times, 3 innings. Done a nice job in those 3 games.
Gallo shanks the first one foul out of play. Taylor Motter, the new shortstop for the Mariners. Gallo had a hit back in the 3rd inning, drove in a run. Part of the 2-run rally the Rangers had in the 3rd inning. At a time when you thought, hey, they might just jump back in it. Got them to within 4. Felt like he had a long way to go, but a big 3-run homer the next at bat by Seattle. I don't want to say put it out of reach, but certainly established control of the game for the Mariners. Ball hit hard off of first base. And the throw to Simmons, in and out of his glove. Gallo is safe at first. Amazing that Simmons was able to get there in time, and that Cano gave him a pretty decent feed. Just became an awkward play.
It's tough for the pitcher. He's running full speed. He knows the run. The batter's bearing down on the base. He's got to catch the ball on a dead run and make sure he touches the bag, which he tried to do. Got there and had to stretch like a first baseman. Nice play by Cano. Makes a nice throw. It's there in time, but Simmons on the run, trying to play first base, wasn't able to hang on to the ball.
An error on Simmons. Boy, Cano, that's a nifty grab and throw. And now Nicholas grounds one second. Cano to second for one. The relay to first is high, but the tag brought down. Nicholas retired on the back end of the double play. 4-6-3. Well, not the cleanest, an effective one.
Hard hit ball, which gives the Mariners plenty of time. Motter had plenty of time, but his throw sails, and it's up to Alonso at first base to make the tag.
So now Willie Calhoun, and he'll take a strike from Simmons. Bottom of the 8th, 7-run game. This ball hit out to center field, but not deep enough. Heredia is there, and it will end the inning. We go to the 9th inning, a 7-pitch, bottom of the 8th.
Park in Arlington, and a big story in this game was the MLB debut of Willie Calhoun. And Willie came here with the nickname of June, and it's short for Junior because he was named after his father. However, in the clubhouse today, they kind of came up with one on their own. Joey Gallo was telling me that he felt like he had a kind of a teddy bear look to him, and so Spanish for teddy bear is Osito. So they're going to see if the nickname Osito takes off here in the next couple of days for Willie Calhoun, guys.
Well, I like it. Osito. Well, teddy bear had a pretty good evening.
Well, he got here before the game, got a crash course and working in left field. First time up, second pitch, curveball, grounds it into right field for an RBI single. Had a really nice play on this pop-up. Had a lot of ground to cover. Caught it with a slide. That one, he made an aggressive diving try. It just hit the ground right before he caught it in his glove. Fortunately, the runner at first went back to first, and the throw into second ended up in a force out. So a 7-4 put out and assist. So a nice aggressive play in the outfield today. Number of aggressive plays. Charged the ball, made a nice throw home. and got his first major league hit. All the way around, an exciting day and a nice game. A happy day for all his family members who are here in the front row watching. Day they'll never forget.
Gamble shoots that one foul. The count 0-2 as Paolo Espino has come on here. Gamble takes the next pitch and turns it foul down the first base side. So the count stays 0-2. Espino retired the only batter he faced. Stranded a couple of runners in his debut against the Angels. That was on September 2nd. It's the only time we've seen him. Rangers acquired him in a trade in the final week of August from Milwaukee for cash considerations. Been up and down a handful of times with Milwaukee, and now finishing the season with a big club here in Texas. 1-2 pitch. That one fouled away. Gamble stays alive. He had a homer earlier, a couple of base hits since, and a very good 3-for-4 night tonight for Ben Gamble. Well, Nicholas wanted it away. He got it away. And that'll even things up 2-2. Mariners trying to even this series with a victory here tonight. A swing and a miss, and Gamble strikes out. Nicholas will have to throw it down to first, but he does. One away in the ninth. This has been a series, though, a season series that Seattle has handled pretty well, and it seems like we saw a lot of them in that first month of the season, and it just did not go well. Scott Service and the Mariners trying to win their 9th game against the Rangers here tonight. Rangers have won 5 so far.
Yesterday we showed the first 12 games. The Rangers had gone 4-8, and Seattle had won all 4 one-run games. They'd also been 4-for-4 in save opportunities, so they were winning the close ones late. Nice play by Rudy. Went to his left, made the play, spun, and threw an accurate throw from right field.
Now 2 gone.
Rangers had only been 1-for-4 in save opportunities. That was a pretty nice play.
So now to the top for Gene Segura. Pardon me. Mater, who would come on last inning defensively. Mater's first at bat of the night. And it's 1-1. Now the Mariners still feel like they are in this thing. They've got a slightly deeper hole to climb out of if they're to sneak in with a wild card. But I think if you're within 4, you feel like you have hope in these last couple of weeks. And that would describe their situation. Scott Service in his 2nd year as manager in Seattle. And it's fun talking to him earlier this afternoon. And I gotta tell you, his recall and stuff is unbelievable. You know how you just have experiences and things that happen in life, and then details fuzz up a little bit. Man, not with that dude. There's strike 3 called. I'll have to tell you what I'm talking about when we come back. It's a 1-2-3 for Espino. Last chance for the Rangers coming up in the bottom of the ninth.
Make up, down a touchdown as we head to the bottom of the ninth. Couple of big blasts by the Mariners early have made life a bit difficult here today. Dana Larson along with Mike Bassick reminding you we'll have the postgame show coming up in just a bit. Despite the score, though, it's been really fun to watch Willie Calhoun tonight.
Boy, he gets that first at bat, gets the first hit, gets an RBI, and then you look at the defensive plays. It usually takes a week to see the arm, the dive, the slide, everything. A lot of Willie Calhoun coming up, and guys, I'm ready for the ninth inning with my rally cap. Let's go. Let's get that 7.
Gotta be creative. I won't even mention the ice cream sundae that was in there.
It tasted good.
I might need one too. I think I need a rally cap. We'll send a few over to you guys as well, and we'll see you after the game, guys.
Well, we will welcome those
that
with
just
open
makes
arms.
his head look enormous.
Did you hear what Tom just said?
Good to have Kevin Mensch on the postgame show.
Wow. I've done a lot of games with Mike. I didn't know his head was that big.
Here's Odor, breaks his bat and rolls that one through the left side, a base hit.
Well, those hits are there to be had. As much as they shift against Ruge, very seldom is there more than one man on the left side of the infield. And when he hit ground ball, if he can hit ground balls to the left side of the infield, there's a lot of hits to be had. And if the one infielder is back, there's a lot of bunts to be had. There's one tailing away right off the end of the bat. There's only one guy on that side of the field, and it turns into a base hit.
Phil Gosselin takes over as a pinch runner now at first base. And here is Ryan Rua. The lead man on, ninth inning. And Casey Lawrence is the new pitcher. And Gordon Beckham has come into play second base as well. So a couple of changes. One off the plate, 1-1 the count on Rua, who had a hit and scored a run back in the third inning. This one hit sharply out toward that right field corner, and it drops down foul. Boy, for all the world, I thought that was a fair ball off the bat. Now we can't see once it gets a certain distance down the line.
They must have sliced it. Must have been moving from left to right. Yeah, you can see it slicing away. Not foul by too much.
Good care of positive. Umpire right down the line. Good read on that one.
Ryan's had a hit in this ball game, 1 for 3, 3 for his last 6 coming into this game. Third straight start. So 4 for 9.
Well, dribbler by the mound at shortstop. Monner's quick flip for one and on to first for the double play. 6-4-3, and the bases are empty. Well, as mentioned the last inning, really kind of fun going over and chatting for a few minutes today with Scott Service. And one of the things I talked to him about was Calhoun, Willie Calhoun, because he said, yeah, you know what? I remember scouting him and having long conversations in draft rooms about Willie Calhoun.
Huh.
And man, he had details, people in the room, this large room, and the length of the conversation. And he said, you know, he was a guy who definitely had everybody's attention. And, you know, for one reason or another, didn't work out that they would pick him. But he said, the one thing I can tell you is we knew then that this guy was born to hit. Everybody knew that he was a hitter. Now, from the standpoint of his stature, and Willie's heard a lot about this, you know, not a big guy, not real tall, not real strong, all these different
Jose Altuve's not very big either.
Exactly.
He's bigger than Jose Altuve.
He said, and you know, and that's the thing that happens in these draft rooms, or these conversations get a little sideways. He said the one thing everybody agreed on though was, well, he can hit. And he said, you know, then you start watching as the guy moves up through other systems. And he said, you just kind of grit your teeth and recall, yeah, I thought that guy could hit. And he says Calhoun has proved them right. But one of those things he said, you know, on the other hand, he says that happens a lot, right? You talk about a lot of players who have all kinds of potential.
Well, whoever Scott was with at the time had a chance to pick him. He was a 4th-round pick.
Well, race over to first base, and DeShields beats Lawrence to the bag. A dangerous head-first slide. But DeShields with an infield hit, and he's been on twice tonight.
You kind of hold your breath when a batter slides into first base like that, reaches out with his hand. Fortunately, it doesn't look like anything happened, and Delino's blazing speed comes into play again. The pitcher hesitated just enough that he couldn't catch Delino. The last dive is what snuck the hand in right before Casey Lawrence's foot.
So Delino is on. And Chu gets to the plate with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. A 10-3 game, and a bouncer left side. Nice high hop. And a routine play for Seager. And the ball game is over. 10-3 the final score. Seattle got out early and never looked back, and they have evened this series at a win apiece. All right, Dana Larson, Mike Bask will be back with the ice cream and the small hats. They'll have all the player reaction and analysis as well. For Tom Grieve and Emily Jones, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. Our coverage of Rangers baseball continues right after this.